Hello students, welcome to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Today I am going to explain you about the nutritive values of mulberry breeding and hybrid vigor. So in this chapter we will see the importance of mulberry leaves, about the nutritive values, about the mulberry breeding and also the hybrid vigor. Here we are going to study the importance of mulberry leaves. As mentioned, the silkworm exclusively eats mulberry leaves to create the silk. So producing high quality of the leaf is very important in the sericulture. So producing high quality seeds or the silks will depends 100% of the on the leaf qualities. So if you see the silk protein, it is made up of from the proteins which is found in these leaves only. So the health of the silkworm is decided by the leaf of the leaves nutrients. That means the health of the silkworm is completely dependent upon the nutrients that have been present on the mulberry leaves. So that means the good leaves will result in the heavy cocoons with long silk threads, and 40% of the cost of silk production is spent on growing the leaves itself, because the silkworms will be especially feeding on the mulberry leaves itself. So mulberry is a perennial plant, that means it can be grown anytime in the year. That means no matter what the climatic condition is, the mulberry plants can be grown, it can be cultivated irrespective of the climatic conditions. For many years, if it is being taken care of, also it can be cultivated. That means for many years it can be grown. If it is well managed and it is well maintained, this mulberry leaves can be majorly grown. If you see the chemical composition in overview, the leaf is composed of various nutrients essential for larval growth. Below are the standard values for high quality leaves. If you see, this leaves is composed of various nutrients that are present, which will be helpful for the larval growth and the development. We'll see the components that are present, the chemical composition that is been present in the leaves. First thing, the component is a moisture. Second is a crude protein. Third is the total sugars, which is reducing proteins, and also the crude fat. If you see the percentage of the moisture or the water, 65 to 78% of moisture is present, what is the role that plays in the silkworm growth? That means it plays a vital role for the metabolism and also for the body temperature. We see the crude protein, that means 19% to 25% of crude protein is been mentioned. That means it directly builds the silk thread on the body tissue. Then with total sugars, 10% to 15% sugars have been mentioned. It provides energy for the movement and also for the spinning. Next we have a reducing sugars, that is mentioned 1.2% to 1.8% is 1.8 to 1.2% to 1.8% it is been mentioned. And then we have an immediate energy. For an immediate energy, this reducing sugar is been used for young larvae. Then we have a crude fat, that is 1.5 to 2.5%, which stored in the form of which stored energy for the pupal stage. If you see the detailed nutrient breakdown, nutrients are nothing but proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals that are important for the growth and the development of the plant. Here we see proteins. Here we see the silkworms digest leaf proteins into amino acids. These proteins are being digested into the amino acids. Almost 70% of the silk protein come from the leaf nitrogen and also from the amino acids itself. Then we have carbohydrates. In the carbohydrates, if we see starch and sugars, they are very essential for growth also. Sugar will also act as a feeding stimulant, also making the leaves more tasty, more tasty for the silkworm. Then we have minerals. The major minerals that are involved in the sericulture in the leaf is vitamin A, vitamin B complex and C. Vitamin C is known for the increase of the larval growth and the size of the silk gland. So minerals like calcium, potassium, magnesium are also present at the levels of 8% to 12%. It will be supporting the metabolical properties as well. Then we see the quality based on the leaf position. That means the chemical makeup changes depending on where the leaf is been located on the branch. That means if it is located, this is the composition of the leaf position. That means if it is a top, that means the water is 77.2%, the soluble sugar is 6.5%, and the crude protein is 27.2%, and the total ash is 8.6%. Then we have middle layer, the middle position, that is a mature position, which will be the water content over here will be 74.3%, and the soluble sugars it will be having 4.8%, and the crude protein, that is 22.5% has been present. Total ash is present, that is 10.2% of the ash is present in the total. That means in the coarse region you will be see the water percentage of 71.4%, the soluble sugar is 3.4%, and the crude protein you see 18.9%, and the total ash that is present is 12.5%. So this data will show the top leaves are the richest in water. The top leaves which are present, that will be rich in the water, that will be rich in the making the best of the young worms. In the making of the young worms, the top leaves are at the best position, for younger worms are the top position. Then we see the impact of soil nutrients. As mentioned, the soil plays an important role in the mulberry cultivation. The location, the soil composition, and also the irrigation that has been given to the soil has to be taken care of. Now we are talking about the soil nutrients. We know the composition of the soil, like 20%, like 40% of the soil we are taking, 20% of so 60%, if we are taking of 60% of the soil, we are taking 20% of the sand and 20% of the silt, and also that is the composition of the soil. Now we are saying, as soil contains nutrients, the composition of the nutrients, in a simple way to remember NPK, that is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Nitrogen, if I say, it is a most important for boosting leaf protein. Nitrogen is most important for the leaf protein, for the boosting up or for the good healthy leaf protein. For leaf protein, this nitrogen will boost up the leaf protein. Okay, next we have phosphorus, which is a vital, which plays an important role for the root health. Root health is being maintained, and it will be taken care by the phosphorus nutrient. Then we have potassium, which will be helping the leaves to stay fresh, and also will be helping the quality of the leaf. The potassium will be taking care of the quality, and also it improves the freshness of the leaf. If we see the balanced fertilizers, that means nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus, this will ensure the perfect chemical profile. If we see the high quality soil will lead to the high quality of the leaves, and you will be having a high quality of the worms as well. If you see the micronutrients like zinc, this also plays an important role in the mulberry cultivation. We have organic manure, as mentioned in the earlier classes. Organic nutrients like organic manure, like farm yard manure, is being used for the stability, for a good purpose, for the good healthy soil. Farm yard manure has been taken. If you see, the healthy roots absorbs minerals more efficiently for the growth and the development. If the root is healthy, that means if the root the major function of a root is absorption of water and absorption of minerals as well. If the root absorbs water and if the root absorbs mineral in a proper way, the plant, it gives a mechanical support and the strength to the plant. If it doesn't absorb water in a right time, that means the water clogging might happen, because the water clogging is happening, it might be, the root might be rotten, that means the root might be diseased. So here this soil nutrients, that means nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, also plays an important role, and it has an impact on the soil. Next we have seasonal impact on quality. As mentioned, mulberry can be grown in different climatical condition. In India we have different independent mulberry varieties are present, and in India we have multiple climatical conditions present in an year. So during the summer, during the rainy season, during the winter season also, this mulberry plants can be survived and it can be cultivated. So often in the summer season, what happens is, often the lower part in water due to the heat, often lower in the water content will be lesser during the summer season because of the heat. What happens, the water holding capacity will be lesser because of the drying up, because of the fast drying up. They can become dry, they might also become thin. If irrigation is not regular, if the water supply is not sufficient, sometimes it might affect the plant by dehydrating the plant or drying up. It might dry up sooner and it might turn its color into yellow color. And we have, during the rainy season, what happens, leaves are very succulent and they have high in water. During the rainy season, as it gets irrigation, the water supply technically and also naturally, the rain has been fed by the plant will be fed by the rain as well, because of which what happens is, it will be the water content will be very high. That means water stress will be high, growth would be fast, no doubt in that, growth would be fast, but leaves can sometimes be too watery for the silk quality. The leaf quality will be directly depending upon the silk quality as well, because of which what happens is, if the leaf is watery, the silk quality will be also watery. During the winter season, what happens is, growth will be slowing down, leaves might become thick and rich in nutrients, but the moisture level may decrease slightly because of the drying up, because of the because of the transpiration process. The moisture level might decrease slightly. It might not differ in a huge way, but in a slight manner it might differ. So light and temperature are the main drivers. The light, sunlight and also the temperature controls are the major role which plays in the cultivation and the agricultural sector, right? The sunlight, it helpful for the photosynthesis process. Because of the photosynthesis process only the plant growth and development occurs, and the temperature has to be maintained at a proper, like 24 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius. It is an accurate range for an high quality leaf production. Then we see the physical features of a good leaves. So if we see the physical features of the good leaves, what happens? Leaves must be soft, they have to be succulent for easy eating, they have to be very succulent for easy eating process. They have to be very succulent for the easy eating process. They have to be dark green color. If the green color in the leaf, it indicates that the chlorophyll pigment has been present. If the leaf has been in yellow color, that means the chlorophyll content, the chlorophyll pigment will be lesser. Then we see the shiny surface. Usually if it means that the shiny surface on the leaf, it indicates that it has a high sugars and also it has a high moisture. Then leaves must be free from all the dust, it must be free from the pests, it must be free from the diseases, because majorly silkworms will be feeding on the leaf itself. So because of which the leaves must be dust free, the leaves must not be pest resistant, that it must be pest free, pestilence has not to be put on the leaves, and also it has to be disease resistance as well. Tender leaves, if we see, these tender leaves will be having a thin cell walls for better digestion process. Mature leaves, they will be obviously thicker in size, but they should not be dry or in yellow color. That for example, if you see a mature leaf, that means a mature leaf, as the leaf age grows, it might turn its color into the yellow color, because as it turns yellow color, and it will be, sometimes some leaves become a light greenish and they might fall off, because of which what happens is, it is an aging of the leaf. Here if the mature leaves are present, no doubt it is thick, it will be thicker, but it should never be dry and it should never be yellow, because the yellow indicates the chlorophyll pigment, the level of chlorophyll pigment in the leaf is little bit lesser. Then we have a freshness is the key. That means the fresher the leaves are, the fresher the silk quality will be there. That means the leaf will start losing its value after 12 hours. fresh hours. That is why what happens, majorly mulberry leaves have been harvested during the early hours, because of which what happens, the freshness, it will be very moisture and it will be having very fresh. And if it is not, if it is too watery, what they will do is they'll clean the leaves and they'll make sure they dry it off, because of which what happens, it will not, the leaves will not get rotten, or due to too much of clumsiness of the leaves, it might not, the contamination won't happen between the leaves. The texture should also be flexible and it should not be brittle or it should not be crispy, rather it should be flexible. Then good quality leaves feels heavy and due to their water content. It not heavy doesn't mean it will be having a heavy weight, but it should be little bit heavy. It will feel heavy due to the presence of the water that is present. The next we have leaf maturity and we have leaf rearing. That means we have different ages in the leaf. That means maturity is been defined by the age here. So you have young age leaf, middle age leaf and also late age leaf. Young age is called as chalky. Then it requires very tender leaves from top 3 to 4 positions. That means high moisture. That means top leaves are well developed. That means that water temperature, the moisture, the protein, the carb, everything. That means here I've already mentioned the quality. That means the top tender leaves, that means soluble sugars, crude proteins and total ash and the water content will be very good in the top layer. So because of which what happens, that is a young age. That means what happens, it will be having high protein and also the moisture would be very high in the young age plants. If you see the middle age, that is a third stage, it requires mature leaves from the middle part of the branch. It will be having a balanced fiber and the sugar levels are also good here in the middle age. Then we see, if we see in the late age, that means 4th and 5th, what happens in late age, that means which is closer to the soil, which will be closer to the soil line, or what happens, this way you will see the fully matured leaves at the just above the soil. What happens, they need regular they need higher dry matter to produce large amount of the silk. They need high dry matter. No doubt the fiber would be so good in the lower level, but they need a large amount of the silk to be produced. So feeding late age worms with tender leaves can lead the diseases like flacaria due to the excess water intake. Due to in late age worms, what happens is you have to feed it with the tender leaves that can lead to the diseases like flacaria due to the excessive water intake. Then we see an harvest and storage management. If we see harvest and storage management, harvesting should happen early in the morning to keep the moisture, and early in the morning you see the moisture content, the level of moisturicity will be very high. So this harvesting can be done in the morning early hours. The leaves must be stored in a cool, in a dark place and also in the moisture room. Doesn't mean in a watery room, but in a moisture room. Then we have a leaf preservation chambers or wet bags can be used for the storage thing. Then transport from the field to the rearing room should be very quick. Do not store leaves in large heaps to avoid heating up. Avoid feeding leaves that have turned yellow or fermented. Dusty leaves must be washed and dried before feeding. Then frequent harvesting keeps the plant producing new tender leaves. Proper pruning cycles ensure a continuous supply of the leaf. That means proper pruning has to be taken care to for the continuous supply of the leaves. The proper pruning, that means at the right time, at the right place, the pruning has to be done. Then we have mulberry breeding. This mulberry breeding is the major objective of this mulberry breeding is to create a next generation of superior mulberry varieties. That means through breeding we can obtain different varieties in the mulberry. So if you see the germplasm and the genetic sources in the mulberry breeding, the contents that breeding starts with diverse collection of mulberry types. That means breeding will be starting from not only from one type, but we have different types of mulberry that are present, different countries that produces races. Here we have India, China, Japan, South Korea. They have a species count. If in India we have 15 plus species count, in Japan we have 10 plus species count, in China we have 20 plus, and in South Korea we have 8 plus. So accession, that means approximately 1200 plus to 50. In China we see 2500 plus, in Japan we say 1500 plus, and in South Korea we say 800 plus. So that the germplasm banks protect rare genes from being lost to nature or to the new developments. That means through this germplasm, what happens is we can protect the rare genes, we can protect the extinction or extincting species, and we can reserve them for the biodiversity purpose, and also new varieties can be developed through this process as well. If we see here conservation, as I was mentioning, conservation process, it can be ex situ conservation and in situ conservation. Ex situ conservation, it is nothing but conserving plants outside their natural habitat. It's called as ex situ conservation. In this, what happens is these gene banks and we have gene banks present for the ex situ conservation, and also we have botanical gardens which are used for this. Plants are safely kept in the nurseries, and researchers and also as researchers are being done in this are also can be put in the research centers as well. If you see in the in situ conservation, what is the major role of this in situ conservation is conserving plants in their natural habitat. Conserving plants in their natural habitat is called as in situ conservation, where national parks and biosphere reservoirs protect their wild types. What happens, this allows plants to keep evolving within their environment. It is not that we are introducing the plants into the newer habitat or a different place, but in their itself natural habitat we are trying to grow a plant. Both methods are needed to the biological security purpose. That means cryopreservation, it is used for the long term storage of the DNA, and we also have seed banks which are used for saving diverse genetic codes as well. We have breeding processes, as we are mentioning mulberry breeding, we have selection, we have hybridization, and we also have trials. In the selection process, what happens, we are choosing a parent plant with a best trait, that means a best quality with a desired qualities, desired characters. We are choosing one of the parent plant which is likely we obtain, which will be giving a high yield or else a disease resistant from the germplasm bank. Second, we are hybridizing it. That means artificial crossing is being done between two varieties, two parent plants to combine and for giving a good quality and a single offspring. That means progeny has been given. That means what is happening, we are choosing a correct and we are choosing a proper desired characters from the parent, and we are introducing it into the offspring, that means into a progeny. Then the trials are being made, the testing has been done continuously. New hybrids in the nurseries, in this trials and the tests will be done in the nurseries and also in different locations to check their actual performances. So only the best, that 0.1% of hybrids are finally released to the farmers. Not all hybrid varieties are being given to the farmers, but the best, the desired qualities are being given to the farmers. Next, we have popular varieties. We have many types of mulberries that are present. India also has different independent mulberry plants that are present. We also have 5 types of mulberry, 5 types of silks that are present. I have mentioned in the earlier classes. Here if you see, popular varieties are S1 and S1635. These are the popular varieties that we are learning about. S1 variety, it is developed by CSR and also TI Center in the Mysore. It was a breakthrough for increasing leaf yield significantly. Yield can reach up to 25 to 30% hectare per year. This is majorly cultivated by an CSR department and also through a TI department which is in the Mysore. Then we have S1635. It is a triploid variety which has a good high potential. It is having a thick leaves and also it has a high moisture retention as well. It is mostly seen in the West Bengal and also it is seen in the eastern regions. Both of the varieties, it shows good resistance to common leaf spot diseases. Then we have regional specificity also. BC 259 variety, 259 variety, and we have TR8 triploid, and also we have V18. Also we have V18 variety that has been present. Then we have special conditions varieties. There are many other C776, C1730. These are the major special conditions varieties that have been grown in the mulberry. If you see the performances comparison, there are many varieties present. So major popular is S1 and S1635. 1635 is the popular variety. If you see the variety name, name is S146. It is an East Indian. It has an high moisture retention. Likewise, we have all the different types of the mulberry varieties that have been present. Now, if we are talking about the hybrid vigor, hybrid vigor is also called as heterosis. Which is when happens is when the offspring is superior to its parents. That means it is what is an hybrid vigor? It is nothing but it is when the offspring is very superior than their parents. This is called as heterosis. So what is happening in the heterosis? It is an increased biological function and a growth in the hybrid. This hybrids, usually we know this hybrid will be growing faster, it can be grown taller, it will produce more leaf fit, and it will be having the best desired characters. So in mulberry, if you see, it is seen in the large leaf size and the thicker leaves will be seen. The successful breeding programs aim to maximize the vigor. That means heterosis, what happens is heterosis will help a plant from recovering, helps the plant to recover from the pest attacks more quickly. What happens? The evaluation of the hybrid varieties, hybrids. If you see, how is the evaluation being done? That means they are be checked, the ability to survive the field, the growth speed is been measured, and also we are mentioning about the leaf to shoot ratio must be high for the farmer's profit. We are majorly focusing on the farmer's profit as well. As we all know that hybrid variety, this hybrid variety, what it does is it gives a faster growth, it gives a desired varieties, it gives a proper profit to the farmers. So if you use a statistical math is used, to compare the standard variety, only variety to beat is the local check are been released. So if it is released to the market, this what happens, the hybrid vigor must be stable across many years of the growth. If you see propagation and nursery, that means propagation is nothing but multiplying and the reproduction. Commonly cutting, it is a common way, it is 15 to 20 centimeters semi hardwood stem has been used, and the grafting used for variety that do not root easily. Joining, that grafting is very toughest type of a propagation, because it requires an expertise to be arranging that cycon and the root cycon and the rootstock as well. Nursery care, that means watering daily, removing weeds, under monitoring plants every day, providing partial shade, saplings, taking care of the saplings and raising the saplings. That means how much propagation we are doing, the post propagation care also has to be taken care. This care will be done in the nursery, because in the nursery we see the saplings that are present. These saplings, what it does is, these saplings after they are been grown, what happens, they are be transplanted in the main field. So before it is been transmitted, the nursery care is very important. So finally in conclude that mulberry leaves are the fuel for the entire silk industry, because they are nutritive, they are fresh, they are high protein, and they have good water content present. So leaf position and the seasons are also very impactful on the mulberry production. Proper care, proper nursery care and the proper propagation has to be done for the good plant for good mulberry production as well. So in modern sericulture, if you see, this modern sericulture will be relying on the marriage of biology and also family. That in the first lesson itself I have mentioned that sericulture is a mix of agriculture and also the industry. This agriculture depends on the biology and also on the farming. That means the biology also has to be taken care. That means the scientific reasons, scientific approvals are also be taken care, and also the educating farmers also helpful for the better sericulture and also for the growth and the development of the silk industry. Thank you everyone.